Hey, this is Jared of Synautical. My podcast is on alternative health and wellness. I also touch on biohacking and a few other topics as well. My podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, also on my YouTube as well too. Check it out, and I'll see you there.
Welcome to Season 3 of the Lifelong Health and Fitness Conversations podcast. In last season, I hinted at something exciting that all listeners can dive into. Now, after much research, learning, and a bit of adventure, I'm ready to share what this new offering is: wellness travel. To kick off this new offering, I speak with Lana and Mark, founders and owners of Blisstopia Retreats in Peoria, Arizona. We discuss their many wellness services and offerings on their property, which is designed for immersion into holistic wellness experiences. Blisstopia Retreats host their own retreats, and they collaborate with other wellness, health, medical, and professional practitioners to host retreats on their beautiful property. Blisstopia Retreats is 5-star rated on Google and highly recommended on Alignable. Their mission is to encourage people to embrace empowered, creative, and vibrant living through yoga, fitness, meditation, Ayurveda, and various wellness activities. They do this by providing a nurturing environment, holistic practices, and community support. To learn more about Blisstopia Retreats and to view their latest retreat events, see the links in the podcast description. Now on to our conversation. Well, Lana and Mark, thank you for joining me today for this podcast recording.
Thanks you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
And I see your beautiful retreat background there.
Blisstopia Retreats.
Yes.
We're right here in Peoria, Arizona. And this is the Sunrise Mountain Preserve behind us. So it is a preserve. And there's hiking right back outside our gate.
Wow. And that's why I wanted to interview you both, because I saw your retreat on Facebook, and I'm always looking at wellness retreats. So can you tell listeners a bit about the genesis of your company?
Yeah, we opened Blisstopia Retreats in July of 2021, so 3 years ago now. And I held our first retreat in October of 2021. And we've been hosting many retreats since then. We've hosted over 40 retreats in that time frame, and we're growing and expanding and hosting more and more. But the journey really came from Minnesota. We moved down from Minnesota in 2021 after selling our fitness centers that we had in a yoga studio up in Minnesota. Sold our home, moved here, and said it's time to open up a retreat wellness center so that we can help more people at a deeper level.
It really was a calling. Everything that we've done is like it shows itself, and we just take action because we believe that if something shows itself, it needs to be tended to. Like if your intention is awake and active, the only other step is to do it. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Like then that's what we do. It's like, okay, I guess that's what we're going to do.
We apologize for the background noise of our chickens. We have several chickens, and it's that time of the day for them.
Yeah, that might be appealing to listeners, actually. So they can interact with the chickens when they get there. But
absolutely.
I did see on your website, you have 20 years that you've been in business. So can you tell me a bit about your services and what offerings you have at Blisstopia?
Well, together, Lana and I started with our fitness centers. That was about 11 years ago. We opened our first fitness center together. It was a boxing fitness center, a franchise location. Then we purchased a second one. And then we opened up our boutique yoga studio, custom built. We designed it ourselves and then built it out and opened our yoga studio and ran that. And then we opened up a third boxing fitness center franchise location. So we were pretty busy, and we weren't able to work together any longer because we had so many businesses that we had to run back and forth to. So that was one of the reasons that we decided, well, it's time to downsize and go back to what we originally planned, was to work together in one location. And that's why we downsized from that, moved to Arizona, opened up our retreat center.
Before that, both Mark and I had been in the health, wellness, spiritual realm in some shape or form. I was a psychotherapist for a long time, active, doing employee assistance and psychotherapy. And through that journey early on, I knew that there had to be other things to help people besides just talking.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good, but you only can get so far.
Yeah.
And in that. So I started diving deep into different modalities. I was drawn to be a doula for a long time. So I attended over 400 births over 20 years. I got certified in hypnotherapy because I thought that would really help people go into the subconscious mind. And then also energy work, healing touch, and Reiki, I found to be a really amazing modality as well. So with my background and also martial arts, I've just kind of integrated. And then Mark and I together with Mark's background, and you can talk about your background, we've integrated those modalities.
Yeah, I've owned and operated several martial arts schools over the years. Everything from karate schools to mixed martial arts centers, training centers for fighters. And it's been a passion of mine. I've been involved in martial arts for almost 45 years now. And we try to incorporate even a little bit of that into our retreat business. We offer self-defense training and boxing fitness classes for fun, and also just to break up, a retreat from that may be yoga based, to have a little bit of the yin and yang built into the retreat as well.
And just listening to you both talking about your journeys and your legacies, because even though you don't do those things anymore, you've contributed to people's lives. And when you put that all together now, one of the things, and this podcast focuses on lifelong health and wellness, is you can put all that together to create like a holistic experience for people who visit Blisstopia. And maybe when they visit more than once, they can enjoy different aspects of your services. So do you kind of get repeats so they can experience, because there's a lot to experience, it sounds like?
We do get repeat guests to come. We actually had one guest come about 6 times in a year. Yeah.
Wow.
And she actually ended up moving here, and ended up moving in with us to help support us for the retreat.
She's now an assistant of ours for our retreat center.
And we also have had retreat guests that have come for retreat for the healing process, but have also come back for yoga teacher training and energy healing training for certifications, for them to pass on the wisdom and the knowledge to their community. So they worked on themselves, and then they started to be practitioners of the work. And that's what we love, is like, if they're called to do it, but we offer so many different avenues for healing and different themes depending on what someone might be going through, whether that's grief or loss, or just feeling stuck, or they're in a life phase where it's like, now what? So it depends on what they're working through. And then we work through the workshops that most will benefit them at that time, depending on who we're calling in for that specific retreat. So like I just talked to a gal yesterday about our Warrior Goddess retreat in September 13th through the 16th of this year. And she was recently divorced. She has 3 children, adult children, and she's in her early 50s. And she was just recently diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so she went to Greece on a retreat and said that was great. I've always wanted to go to Greece, but it wasn't a retreat that dived into who you are as a human being. It was about the environment,
being in Greece.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Which is awesome. I mean, gosh, yeah. And she said, now though, the point in my life right now with what she has happening, she said, I want to learn more about me and what's next for me, and dive deeper into who I am and heal. So
yeah, that's a good point, actually, because there are a lot of retreats out there, and a lot of them focus on the destination, and so they think the destination will heal you. So can you tell me a bit about Blistopia's retreats? And we did speak before, you also have retreats for facilitators. Can you explain the features of each type of retreat?
Yeah, destinations are great, and everybody wants to go to a beautiful, incredible, inspiring location. And our facility and our location is that. It's not a tropical beach, it's not somewhere in Europe, but it's in the Sonoran Desert here in Arizona, which has its own mystique about it, and it's also the beauty of the desert can be a lot more than people realize. People think that Arizona is 115 degrees year round.
Yeah.
It is right now, though.
It is today, but
you can see it's comfortable.
We're sitting outside. And
it's
and I have no sweat dripping off of me sitting outside in 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
Well, and the sun is therapy. The sun is therapy wherever
it is
on Earth. So
yeah.
It is such a great healing modality that people need to not be afraid of the sun. They need to embrace it because it does heal. And what we do here, that I like to brag about Lana, because Lana has such a vast background in helping and healing people. She's a psychotherapist, she's a hypnotherapist, she's a Reiki master, she's a yoga teacher and a yoga teacher trainer. All of those things are all about reaching people, touching people, helping people, and healing people. So it really comes down to, retreats come down to not just the location, but who's running it, how are they running it, and why are they running it? Do they have the passion to run that retreat to help people? It might be great just to go there and just to get away, but you can do that. You can do that on a beach vacation yourself. Go to Mexico and have a great time. But do you get much out of that spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally? We try to get all of those things covered.
Yeah, and sometimes they might be trying to get away from the problem, and then they don't know how to fix the problem when they get back, because they didn't do anything while they were away, and they had the time to think about it to figure out how to deal with the problem when they get back. So it sounds like your services offer that.
Yeah. Yes.
And we always try to have them leave with something that they can take with them to work on themselves, so that they kind of an aftercare program, so to speak. Because if you just come and then bye, see you, and never see them again, we tell them once they leave, once they've come here and be part of our retreat, they're like family. And I'm Italian, so once you join the family, you can never leave.
Plus, it's about relationships. It's not just like a one and done and bye, good luck with your life. Like we develop a relationship, so we care about what's happening to you, and we get calls from people 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, and they love sharing with what's happening in their life and how much it's changed. And they'll say, we just want to let you know what an impact that has had on my life and how transformative it was. And that many of them will say, I didn't realize how much impact it had till I started living in my usual world again.
Yeah.
And then how things like would come up and be like, they would respond differently and listen to their intuition differently. They would manifest things differently, because when you're here at Blisstopia, every single cell, we're tapping into every single cell, conscious, subconscious, to help you be all you can be and do it more effortlessly. I think so many times people are working so hard to heal and do something, and it really doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't be hard.
So what is the day-to-day for people who go to one of your retreats?
I'll let you explain the kind of the schedule that we
Yeah. So typically a retreat would be 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 days. And the morning is we honor the morning in silence, just like nature. Nature wakes up quietly. It's not just like boom, there it is. The sun rises slowly. We wake up slowly with that. So silence for the first hour. And then we move into a nourishing Ayurvedic breakfast. And typically there's some morning movement, either yoga, hiking, that type of thing, and breath work. Mark will walk them through a guided breath work or meditation. And then by that time, there's some free time, free space. It's so important on a retreat to have integration time for people just to be. We don't stack activity after activity. There has to be that time just to sit with what it is, or to journal, or to take a nap, whatever you need to do to integrate the information or the healing that's happening. And so then we have a beautiful Ayurvedic lunch. In the afternoon, depending on the weather, it might be a boxing class or a workshop of sorts. The workshop is typically geared towards an interactive type of thing. It's not lecture. So it is a very much a sharing time for people to share their own experiences based on the information that we're talking about.
Okay, so it's not regimented. Things are kind of optional for them.
Absolutely.
And each retreat is theme based. So,
okay.
Example, like we have the Warrior Goddess retreat coming up here, September, and that's about it. A lot of it's about empowering women, and so there will be some self-defense and boxing added in there, but there'll also be yoga and meditation and breath work, and it'll be about lifting women up and helping them find their own power from within.
And sometimes there has been a couple women that they just didn't feel like it was right for them to box, so they just watched.
Yeah.
That's cool, right? And
yeah.
we did a hike one time, and one of the guests, she came out after we all got back, and she said, "Thank you guys so much for creating a space for me to not feel judged or bad or anything about not choosing to go, because I just wanted to sleep." And that's the space that we create, but we also want to help people know when there's resistance. So there's avoiding things too, right?
Yeah.
So that balance between the two of, and whatever people choose, it's your retreat. We're not going to judge you for where you're at, because we only can meet you where you're at. And then also push where you need to, get a little nudge.
With your retreats, are they annual? So the Warrior Goddess retreat, is that annual? Is it a new?
Yes, some of the themed retreats are annual, or even twice a year. The Warrior Goddess we have been hosting twice a year. Some of the other ones are one-off. We'll only host it one time because it's a specialized one. But like we have in November, we have the 11/11 retreat coming up. It's a breakthrough retreat. That is an annual one held over 11/11, special numbers for a breakthrough.
And we get into the mystique of the universe, really, the mysteriousness of numerology, the mysteriousness of different creative abilities within in people that maybe need to be tapped into. So the mystique of how you can create a breakthrough around that.
We have the Soul Vortex retreat that's coming up. Soul Vortex Of course, we have soul vortex energy right here on the property, but within that retreat, we also do a day excursion to Sedona, which is only 90 minutes from our door to uptown Sedona. And we take them out to the Red Rocks so they can visit the vortexes there and the energy and the beauty of Sedona. A little shopping experience in the, for the shops and everything, and souvenirs that are in Sedona itself, crystals, all of those things. So each retreat is unique, each and different, and we want it that way because maybe one will reach one person one way, another one will touch another person another way, and that's really what we like to do.
That makes sense. So with facilitators, when they host a retreat, say there's a facilitator who would like to, host a retreat on your property, how can they go about that? And how would services or accommodations be set up for them? And what options do you have available?
We love working with other collaborators. Like it's one of the things that we really enjoy doing, bringing people that have skills and talents and gifts and showcasing them. And then they don't have the worry and the stress of some of the back end stuff of hosting a retreat. So Mark, you can probably.
We host, probably 8 to 10 retreats of our own, Lana and I together per year. And it's a lot to put together a retreat all by yourself. We do it all. We prepare the meals, we prepare all the sessions, the workshops, all the activities, and so the marketing. So we have to handle all of that. So when we work with collaborators and other retreat facilitators, we love that because they're going to handle a lot of the back end stuff themselves. They're going to take care of that. And then they can contract with us. Besides renting the facility for their retreat, they can contract with us if they want the meals taken care of, because Lana's an Ayurvedic chef. She prepares incredible meals, nourishing, organic meals. So that's one option. And then a lot of the services, the one-to-one services or the small group services that we offer. And it's a long list of things that we offer, everything from breathwork to yoga classes to her Reiki sessions, her healing touch sessions, and past life regression, things like that. So there's many different things that we have. We basically have an a la carte menu that we offer. To do it, it's really a simple process. They either call us, text us, email us, and say, hey, I'm interested in hosting a retreat at your place. The next step is we jump on a Zoom call, get to meet each other, get to know each other a little bit, see if we're a right fit for each other. Usually that will determine whether they want to. They already saw the property through the website, but we might take them out live like this with the Zoom call and show them a little bit of the facility. And then, once they decide on the retreat that they want to do that, it's picking dates, put a deposit down, and we're flexible on all of those things. We're not, because we know the business, we work the business, we live the business. We're not just about the business. We're about actually helping and making sure that their retreat is going to be just as successful as personal ones are.
Yeah. So
not everyone is a good match with us too, just because of the vibration, the frequency. But when it is, it's like magic. It's like, yes, because everything just is so natural. We really look for super authentic people,
and many different retreat facilitators. I mean, we have doctors. We have a traditional medicine doctor who left the traditional field to go into natural health field, and she came and she hosted a gut health retreat here, just all about learning about your gut microbiome, which was just beautiful because it's one of my passions as well. And then we had Dr. Tanya Gilbert here. She's from California.
Psychologist.
She's a clinical psychologist who brought her group in, and we prepared the meals for that. We also did some of the modalities.
Such a fun group.
so having doctors, having yoga teachers,
we have business coaches.
I mean, so many different types of people.
Corporate retreats. We've had corporate.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you do everything, even maybe writing retreats as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, art retreats. There can be many
We
different
do have
types.
one coming up who we have a collaboration. Well, she just rented out the property, and then we're contracting food services. And I'm actually going to do the retreat too. Like I'm going to be a participant.
That's good.
It's I don't know the name of it, but it's like she's doing artwork and soul oracle cards.
Oh,
So I've been developing my own soul oracle cards, and that's one of her specialties, is to help people bring the art, writing, drawing, painting within them, to bring it out in a way that is like tapping into the soul. So we're so excited to work with her.
And even like next month in July, we have a retreat that is being hosted by the School of Meditate, which is they do sound bowl healing certifications, and they're bringing their group of people in to get certified here on site. And we're also taking care of some of the meals on their retreat as well. And Lana is going to go through a second certification for sound bowl through their program.
I know. I'm already a certified sound healer, but what they provide is so expansive. And I'm like, I have to do it. I mean, they're right here.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about that one too.
I haven't done any sound healing, anything yet. I would like to experience it. Right now, I'm just spa level, and I have worked with someone who works with manifestation, and it's kind of surprising how much she interacts with my higher self. She does a better job than I do, but she's accurate, so it's very interesting.
That's beautiful.
And give yourself grace, right? Give yourself grace that the answers are really there, and she's just a guide for you. She's just a mirror. Sometimes we just need a mirror to actually see ourselves. That's all.
I hope
that's
that
all.
one day.
Yeah.
So with the logistics of getting to your retreat, say someone is somewhere else in the country, what would be the logistical side of getting to your retreat?
We are about 35 miles northwest of the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, which is a large, easy in, easy out airport. Most of the people that fly in there will Uber it to our location. It's just easiest and probably the most affordable. There are shuttle services, there are, limo services and things like that if you want to get first class all the way. But affordability wise, Uber is going to be the best route.
And most of the time people don't need to rent a car because you're held in this container here. And we actually just discourage people from going out in between, because when you go out, a lot of times when you're in a healing mode, that can interrupt the process. So we really want people to stay within the container of the property. Same with, use of social media and all that. We really encourage them to set that aside.
Yeah, a digital detox kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you do go to places like Sedona, you said Sedona, correct? I don't want to.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have like a van on your property that you use to transport?
No, we rent one. We rent from a van service company that we're contracted with. We do this on a regular basis. They have beautiful vans that are no more than 2 years old, so they're really nice, modern. They have all the facilities and all the conveniences within the van itself. But it's a nice thing because I'm the driver, so I'll drive the group, and that time is about 90 minutes to get there. And it's a beautiful time Lana will incorporate, different journaling type questions within that time frame.
And discussion.
Yeah. So it's not just chat during that time of anything and everything, because you get enough of that in the day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So try to escape a little bit from that and keep your mind on the retreat itself. And then we take you in and do a little mini tour of Sedona, and it's a beautiful excursion.
Yeah, and I think it shows your experience, because even the drive to Sedona, you're maximizing that time. And it's not in a exhausting way, I'm pretty sure. It's journaling and people can take that time to think. And also because, like you said, they deal with driving in their everyday lives. They finally have a chance while they're in a vehicle to do something else, which maybe many people don't have a chance to do. So,
and the drive itself is a beautiful scenic drive. So there's, if you've not been to Arizona before, the drive to Sedona from North Phoenix, where we are, it's incredible. I mean, we're in the valley, the West Valley, which is low and hot, and you can go from here to Sedona, and it can be a 30-degree temperature difference. So it's just an amazing thing because you go up so high.
It's like a transitional kind of journey.
Yes. You go from cactus and desert to pine trees and beautiful red rocks and rivers and and all kinds of things. So it's just, the scenery can be literally overwhelming with your mind of how beautiful it is.
What is the name of that particular retreat?
The Soul Vortex that we have coming up in October 1, and I think through one we're also doing it. Yeah, the breakthrough in November. So October and November will both have Sedona day trips built into them.
Okay, so you did mention upcoming retreats and the feedback you get from some of your retreat goers. What are some of I know, Lana, you do a podcast, I believe, and other things online.
Yeah. So we haven't, we're on a little pause, but my beautiful friend Margaret, who is the one that actually came to those 6 retreats and then ended up moving in here, Mark said one day, he goes, "Why don't you guys have a podcast?" And I'm like, yeah, why don't we? Because we're both very conversational and passionate, and like we're intense about what we love. And I think you suggested it.
Lana's a psychotherapist, and Margaret is a RN, so a registered nurse. Yeah. So the two of them, I just said, let's just call it the Nurse and the Psycho Show.
The Nurse and the Psycho Show.
But it's catchy, and it's once they get talking, the two of them, about whatever topic or subject, it just flows and it comes out, and it's informative but fun at the same time.
Yeah, it's important to have those credentials because, there are people who are naturally gifted, you can say, at certain healing arts, but it's also good to have those other credentials where you can, because someone like me, I'm more of I'm a facts-based person. I'm starting to loosen up on that a bit, but I need to know why. So it's good to have those credentials in your back pocket and that experience as well.
Thank you.
Can you remind listeners you're in Peoria, Arizona? This is the one property that you have currently. And can you tell me a bit about the property? So at the beginning, you said you can do hiking out there. What other features are there at the property that retreat goers can expect?
Yeah, so we are in the northwest suburb of Phoenix, Peoria. We're in the very north end of it. Literally, if you drive 2 miles north of us, you're in the desert wilderness all the way to Sedona. And it's just beautiful. We are located on a beautiful off-grid property that is 2.5 acres. So we have plenty of space. Our backyard is completely enclosed with fencing all the way along the back, viewing there, and then block walls on the side. So it's completely encased in the backyard, but then we also have ample space outside of our wall. So 2.5 acres. The facility itself is a 2-story villa that's almost 7,000 square feet in space, so very large. It consists of 5 large bedrooms that we've built them out for shared accommodations with 18 total beds. So we can sleep
18.
Yeah, so we can sleep up to 18 guests. 6 bathrooms in the home, so plenty of bathrooms. A large gourmet kitchen that's where most of the meals are served as buffet style, kind of in that large kitchen, because there's so much room, and we can have 20 people in there comfortably in the kitchen. It's that big. A large family room. So the family room area is a great area for hosting workshops and sessions. And if someone wants to use a media center, we have a 65-inch smart TV that you can plug your laptop in and do PowerPoint presentations, videos right there. We also have a dining room, a formal dining room, and a front foyer that is also another area that's used for sessions and workshops.
Okay.
Because it has 20-foot high ceilings. It's just a beautiful, comfortable setting there.
We have 2 massage tables, so if facilitators need a massage table for energy work, or massages, doing that type of thing, we have that available for them.
Yeah, on the upper level, we have a full yoga studio.
Oh, I was just going to ask about that.
And that can host up to 20 mats in the studio itself. Next to the yoga studio we have a 2-person infrared sauna that can be used at any time in a private room. So that's pretty much the interior of the home. And then where we're sitting right now, we're sitting in the patio area, listening to our rooster making noise. We do have a full outdoor kitchen as well, dining area, and then a beautiful pool with a waterfall, 4-person hot tub. We have a large volleyball deck that serves as a second outdoor yoga deck with synthetic grass. It's hard to grow regular grass here, of course.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of water usage here.
Yeah.
Right.
An outdoor fire pit. We have 2 kind of more nice fire pits, and then we have like a wild fire pit for burning fire ceremonies.
Yeah, lots of quiet sitting spaces. We have a gazebo out front that for sunset views, because on this side right out here is where the sun rises, so on the east. And then on the west side, we have a beautiful gazebo. You can sit out there. There's a actual fireplace out there for burning fires when it is cooler evenings. And we have some additional games if anybody wants to play a game of cornhole bags or horseshoes or bocce ball, things like that. And then the other thing, we live in our casita that's separate from this. So our casita off to the side.
So we're on the property.
So we're on the property, even for the facilitators that rent our place. The nice thing there is that we are professional hosts as well. So if they did have a question, if they did need some help, if they did need a maintenance guy, which is me, right on site, that they don't have to call a number, and hope for some maintenance guy to come and fix something if there was something going on. And then we also have a large double-sized RV garage. That's where my boxing gym, my boxing and fitness center is. So that's where we go over and we do the boxing classes in there. So.
Okay, so it sounds like you have everything. I was waiting to hear the pool because I know it's hot out there. So I'm glad you guys have a pool. But do you ever get any high profile? And the reason I ask is because some people want to know if it's gated or secluded in a way where they can feel secure.
Oh yeah, so it is not gated, but we're secluded. We're secluded, but not secluded, if that makes sense. So we're so tucked away. Even people in Peoria, and they come here for our shorter events, they go, I didn't even know there was anything back here.
Okay.
So and all of our property is in block wall. So it is very secure. Mark's background is security as well.
Okay.
He had a security company.
And he knows martial arts.
Yes. And I'm a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo too. So
that's how we originally connected.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so another story to hear about.
Yeah. So people can feel assured that this is a very protected area, and we don't have like a bunch of traffic going by or anything like that.
We're actually
tucked away.
Yeah, we're actually off the road. So we have a shared driveway that's about a 1/4 mile long off the road, and with our neighbor to the north. So we come up and the driveway splits and come to our place. No one's coming up and down our road except really the only other people that come up and down our road is maybe the Amazon delivery guy.
Well, I know you both probably have a busy day ahead, so I wanted to find out, where listeners can find you online. I will be sharing information about your upcoming retreats, and I will be posting information on your upcoming retreats. But where can listeners find information about your company online and your podcast?
Thank you.
Yeah, social media, Blisstopia Retreats on Facebook and Instagram are probably our two most popular sites. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, and several of the local ones like Alignable and Nextdoor. Our website is www.blisstopiaretreats.com. So real easy to find. Our contact information is all on there. A call, text, email, contact form through our website, messenger through Facebook or Instagram. You can reach us any of those ways. And we are, and people say this to us a lot, we are very responsive. We don't, it's not going to take 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, or a week to get back to you. You're going to probably hear back, in most cases, within the hour.
And if you call and we're available, like Mark pretty much always picks up if he's available, that's our best way that we like to contact or to connect with people is phone.
Owning
like
fitness,
we want to have a phone conversation or Zoom.
Previously owning in martial arts schools and yoga studios, customer service is so important. So we understand that if we miss a call, we think, oh, well, if we missed a call, they might have called somebody else now. So we don't want to miss any.
And we're in the relationship business. And to us, relationships are about this.
Yes.
Like let's communicate directly.
Yeah. And I can attest that you both are very responsive. So it was great speaking to you both today. I do want you to state whatever retreat you might have coming up for the open to listeners. What retreats might you have coming up this year or maybe early next year so they have time to kind of plan?
Okay, so the next event is a training. If anybody's looking to become a yoga teacher, instead of doing an online program where you're going to get this much of experience and knowledge through someone that put together an online program, an in-person 11-day, 10-night yoga teacher training program that's hosted by Lana.
It's an immersion.
I'm actually going through the program myself this time. She's been trying to push me to do that for a long time, and I finally broke down, and I'm going to become one of her teachers. That's August 1st through the 11th. That's coming up pretty quick, and there is a deadline by the 7th of July. You have to register it no later than that, because it starts online preliminary before that. So that's the first event, and then there's another in-person training. It's just a weekend training for a healing touch practitioner, energy healing, energy work. That's coming up. What are the dates for that?
That is August 17th and 18th.
17th and 18th. And then we have the Warrior Goddess Retreat in September, the 13th through the 16th. It's a 4-day, 3-night retreat. And then the Soul Vortex in October. And then the Breakthrough, 11/11 Breakthrough over November 11th. That's coming up, a 5-day, 4-night retreat. And then we have a Heal Your Heart retreat. That's all about the heart. That's in the first part of December. And all of this listed on our website, really easy to see, and additional information. You click on a button and it'll give you the full descriptions of each one.
January 2025, we have 5 higher retreats, so high frequency. So those people that have already been doing some work, that have been on this path for a little bit, to even raise their frequency even higher.
Okay.
And then we're constantly upgrading the website and adding additional events, services, and retreats.
February, Love Yourself retreat.
Okay. That makes sense. It's the beginning of the new year. So yeah, that makes sense. And do you both have any final inspiring words for listeners?
You know, the big thing I always say to people is you can go on a vacation anywhere, anytime, and it's good to do that. There's nothing wrong with going on. Like, and a lot of people will go to a beach, a tropical beach, to get away. And, you know, you might sit on that beach and sip on Mai Tais and cocktails and things like that. And you're escaping, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you come back, it doesn't you're not really energized to go back to work. You almost have to recover from your vacation. The difference between that and coming to a retreat like this that is focused on you getting better, healing, energizing you, nourishing you with not just healthy, incredible food, but nourishing you with knowledge. You come back to work the following week, you're fired up, you're energized, you are ready to go to a whole new level. So that's what I like to get out to people.
Or if you're retired, because we work with a lot of retired people too, is that you might not be going back to work, but you might have found a renewed purpose.
Yeah.
What the rest of this life has for you. So I guess my words of wisdom are, you're worth it.
That's good.
You're worth taking time out for yourself.
And they have a new perspective when they come back, that perspective shift.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining me.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us. I appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate it a lot. We'll have to talk about that retreat too.
Thank you. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Lana and Mark of Blisstopia Retreats. Please see the links in the podcast description to join one of their many retreats and to learn more about their company and offerings. Until next time, stay strong and well.